Hey guys, thanks for taking some time out of your day to check out this video. So obviously you're interested in joining my FBA course. What I'm going to try to do right now is answer some of the most common questions and also share what you can expect should you choose to join my course, which will show you everything you need to be successful as an FBA seller in a linear tutorial style. So literally you just go one lecture to the next, to the next, to the next. It's laid out sequentially, exactly what you need in the order you need it, step-by-step hand holding. I spent over a year writing this course. This is the first course I ever wrote. So, and I did it while working two jobs. So, I mean, it took a while. Like literally, I'm not even lying. Right hand to God. I would go into my 9-to-5 job office on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, and the CEO was always there and he'd say, "Ryan, what are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Man, I'm writing this course and trying to help some people. And I have a feeling it's going to help a lot of people, but I'm doing the best job I can on it." I didn't want to say too much because it was the CEO of the company and I was still working for him. But anyways, a lot of long weekends spent in the office by myself or with him because we sat kind of next to each other. I sat outside his office and, that's just what it took to make this course as good as it is. This isn't a cheap course. This isn't a quick course. This is the most detailed course you're going to find online. And I mean that. And just real quick, before we dive into it, let me just share my credentials. So I've been teaching at the college level since I was 25 years old. So I'm 31 now. I'm in my 7th year teaching at the college level. I hold a bachelor's and a master's degree in IT, so the computer stuff comes pretty naturally to me. But I share that because like if you're gonna learn from somebody, it's good to know that they actually have real teaching credentials, which I do. Also, as far as Amazon goes, Amazon FBA specifically, so I'm filtering out anything that's not FBA. I've got it on my side monitor here. I've sold $1,543,416.87 to date. So I know really what I'm talking about. This is coming from real experience here. And also what I wanted to mention is that when I learned FBA, like I consider myself a very confident and competent person. I tried to teach myself FBA. I failed. I'll say it outright. I failed. But I was very lucky to cross paths with somebody who was a successful FBA seller. This was in 2016. And he actually coached people and taught them everything he knew. And this is a dude who like had been to China. He lived in China. He knew his stuff. I mean, he was doing this stuff full time. And I paid him $2,500, which is a fraction of what I'm charging for you to learn from me. $2,500 to teach me everything he knew. And I mean, the rest is history. People back then who would have said, "Ryan, you spent how much for information? That's crazy." Yeah, who's laughing now though? I mean, come on. That was an easy choice for me. Plus, I'm the type of person that if I make an investment, a monetary investment in myself, in my brain, there's not a shred of doubt that I will fail. I know I will succeed because I won't let myself fail. So if I can just give you a piece of that confidence, like if you're on the fence, like, "Oh, what if it doesn't work out?" The only way it doesn't work is if you quit. All right. So let's talk about what my course covers. Again, the modules are laid out sequentially in order. This is actually an insight into the curriculum of the course. Once you're enrolled, you can see the curriculum and then you can click in and see these lectures. So the first module is introductory. We've got a welcome, kind of highlights what I'm highlighting now in there. COVID 2020 update. So this is specific to 2020, kind of how the landscape has changed. Everything in there, and again, this is behind the sales wall here. So nothing in there is meant to sell you on joining because you've already joined. Everything in there is positive for FBA, for being an FBA seller. Everything in there, and it's all real. It's all ground in reality. Like people disappeared from Amazon. Amazon sellers disappeared. I don't know if it was because they had cash flow problems or what, but every seller that left the platform open the door for a new seller. Also, there's clearly an increase in demand for e-commerce products due to what's going on in the world. I don't need to convince you guys probably that selling on Amazon is a good idea this year and moving forward. So that's what's in there. Every module I do prerequisites and expected outcomes. So everything you need to have done prior to beginning this module and everything that you'll have accomplished when we're done. That's in every module. Then I give you the course tools. A lot of that is like, hey, go download this Chrome extension. This is what we're going to use it for, etc. Setting up your Google Drive workspace because this is an online business. So I'm going to assist you in setting up a hub, a central hub for you to be able to run your business online as long as you have an internet connection from any computer, right? So you can be on a whole brand new computer. You can be on an old laptop. You can be on a desktop. You can be on like 5 different computers, but you'll go online to your Google Drive workspace and everything you need is there to run your FBA business. So it's true. What do they call it? Like, there's some funny word like solopreneur or entrepreneur travel lifestyle, whatever. If that's your dream, this will help you, right? You can't be bound to one computer if you want to travel. All right, high level introductory information. This is just like, hey, we need to stop seeing Amazon from the customer perspective, switch our perspective to seeing it as a seller. And then we've got the appendix. So that is literally if there's ever a term that you need explained, like I'll give you a little preview here. I mean, guys, like not only for these lectures, I recorded video walkthroughs for everything and I did written walkthroughs. I'm a web developer, so it's like I went above and beyond. I wrote a bunch of code here. I didn't just like, yeah, I spent a lot of time. That's all I'm trying to say. But here, I wrote this whole appendix for you guys. So if I'm ever throwing around an acronym or something that you don't understand, come to the appendix. It's all right there. Module 2, how to find and validate your first product. So again, I go way above and beyond. I know some of you guys might want like the short kind of time crunched version of this content, but that's why I also have the written portion. So maybe you skip the videos, but if you want like very detailed and you want to look over my shoulder and watch as I actually do all this stuff, it's all here. It's all in there. Like for instance, finding qualified products, like there's multiple videos in there. I think there's like 3 videos in there because I don't just say, hey, like go use this research tool, click here and do whatever it says. Like I'm way too much of a realist. I'm way too much of like, I pretend you're next to me and I'm like, hey, let me guess, you have a little bit more questions than this. Here, let me show you exactly how I go through this process. Let me tell you why that product's good and that product isn't good. Like I try to tell you, I've been doing this for a while, so I try to guess what you're thinking and give you as good of a real-time example of how I do it myself, basically. So it's not just like, hey, a short lecture. It's over the top, you know? And my plan is I'm also going to probably add a module really soon that's just the short version of the course, basically. So if you're one of those people that just wants the need to know as soon as possible, that will be in here soon too. So you'll have just the need to know version of all this. But first, what I did is I spent a year writing this course with the way over the top detailed version. All right. Next, product validation. This is something that most courses don't even teach. This is, if there was just one module in here that was worth the cost of admission, it's the product it is the product validation projecting profitability. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. That module alone teaches you how to project your exact financials. Again, and there's a lot of data points, but don't worry. I put together a product workbook and I show you exactly how to plug in the different variables and how to get those data points so that you know your exact financials without spending a dime. So FBA, you have to spend money to make money. Before you spend any money, you already know pretty much exactly what to expect selling this. And again, there is a lot of variables. I'll make this video 2 hours if I start going through everything. I'm almost tempted to, but like if you have any questions, guys, just hit reply on this email and ask. I respond to everything. I don't have a team, it's just me. So I'd be happy to help. But this product validation lecture is worth the cost of admission on its own. All right, so then the product research workbook, that's what we use to do things like project the financials as well as like tracking our research. There's a lot of stuff packed in there, and that's a Google Drive document that I share with you and then you have forever. And then the true cost of launching products. Again, I always just try to be, it's not just about your first product launch, it's about the cyclical nature of your FBA business. You know, launching a product, determining whether or not it's worth continuing to pursue, because not every product is a success. You can keep trying to force it to be a success, but sometimes you just cut ties and you just move on to a new product. Nothing wrong with doing that. I don't bat 1,000. I have products that I launch and then say, you know what, this isn't worth it. And I cut ties and I just move on to another one. So I try to just give you all of those insights, give you real examples from my business all in there. All right, module 3, how to find a supplier. So I show you how to create an Alibaba account. I show you around the website, Alibaba or global sources. I mean, these websites, these companies, what they do is they are a bridge for us, the buyer, to find suppliers anywhere in the world. So it just expedites the process. And I know some people say, hey, what about sourcing in the USA? You can source from the USA, but there's a reason why most companies don't do that. And it's that it guarantee it costs so much money. I can't tell you. I guess it's probably like minimum wage or something like that. And I'm all for that. I'm not anti-America at all. I love American manufacturing. But I'm just saying, if you find a manufacturer in the USA, number one, you're very limited in choices because there's not that much manufacturing. And number two, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Your product costs are going to go through the roof. And then when you go back up to module 2 with the product research workbook, you're going to see that when you plug in the numbers. So, but you can also compare. If you find an American manufacturer versus overseas, you can compare the two. That's what the product research workbook is for, the product workbook. All right, and then I show you how to find suppliers, how to filter out the bad suppliers, give you recommendations like how to find the most qualified supplier, how to send an RFQ, how to order samples, how to determine which one to move forward with, like all of the above. It's covered extensively because these things matter. As you know, this is your real money. You're investing in your product launch. This matters. So I'm doing everything possible to help you make good decisions here. All right, module 4, you got to request a pro forma invoice. You got to basically get the bill, right? And then I walk you through how to pay it, whether you want to do 30%, 70%, pay it all up front, etc. How to do shipping, etc. How to create your initial product listing. Because again, if this seems in a weird order, it is very strategic. I walked through why we do it in this order in the prerequisites, expected outcomes portion of these modules. But trust me, it's all, if you knew me in real life, like my brain is like a robot brain. It's very analytical. Everything is done specifically in that order for a reason. Like if you say, hey, Ryan, why? There's always a reason. I don't just do things at random. So some people get confused by the order of this stuff. Like, why are we creating the listing after ordering the product? But trust me, this makes sense. All right, module 5, how do we send inventory into FBA? So I walk you through this whole process. Now we're getting into Seller Central. Seller Central alone is probably the single reason why most people quit selling on Amazon. I'm a web developer. That was my 9-to-5 job for 8 years prior to quitting in early 2020. It is one of the worst pieces of online like website software that you'll ever use. It's so intimidating. It's so unintuitive. Another thing you get out of this course is like how to operate in Seller Central. Where do you go? What do you do here? What do you do there? I lay it all out there, all the relevant stuff. I don't teach you the stuff you don't need to know. But I walk you through how to create an inbound shipment, which includes generating labels for the product and the carton. I'm going to show you how to get the labels on the products in the cartons because you need that for FBA. And then I explain how to get it sent into Amazon. You know, I even put you in touch, like this lesson right here. First inbound shipment and not that one actually, arranging shipping for the order, the one above it. I put you in touch with the freight forwarder that I've been using for almost 4 years, who I've been to China and met personally, who I was introduced to by my Amazon coach back in 2016. So like, you're not leaving these things up to random chance and leaving yourself open to be exploited. You're literally you're protecting yourself as much as you possibly can. And I don't know any other FBA course that goes this far above and beyond to even say, hey, like I went to China, met this guy and have been working with him for almost 4 years. He'll take care of you. He won't rip you off. And if you need anything a little bit extra, because you know me, he will take care of you. And it's not just one guy, by the way. It's a company, but I'm just saying he's helped me out in ways that like, I mean, again, I don't want to make this call forever, but like he's helped me out when like I had an issue with my products. His company, which doesn't do manufacturing, they're just freight forwarders. They basically on the assembly line, like they made changes to my products for me. Like a couple hundred very big, very heavy products and didn't charge me. So, I mean, I don't know if they won't charge you, but yeah, I'm just saying that happened without giving up the niche. Like they actually did that for me because they couldn't ship it the way that it was currently packed. And so it pretty much had to be done. And they did it in good faith. And, you know, the rest is history. I mean, they've really good guys. I've even got a picture. If you don't believe me that I went to China and whatnot, I've got a picture with him in that lecture in China. All right, first inbound shipment. Yep, I walk you through that because that might be a little bit trickier. Again, anytime you do something for the first time, it's always a little bit trickier. All right, module 6, how to optimize your listing. Because again, guys, like this is something that, sorry, it's a little bit early. I'm like rubbing my eyes trying to wake up early. I'm looking at the clock. It's almost noon on a Saturday, but it's so gloomy outside. So forgive me. If the sun was out, I'd be a lot more awake, but I need another cup of coffee maybe. All right, module 6, how to optimize your product listing. I just want to make a distinction about my FBA course and the other courses that I teach. This is one of the most valuable things you get out of the course that not everybody, I think, like fully grasps is that like in life and in your FBA business or in your print on demand business or whatever business you run, there's two ways to approach it. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they do it the first way and they don't do it the second way. And the first way is, hey, I've done the minimum. I'm selling on Amazon, because technically they've checked every box that's part of the requirements to be selling on Amazon. You see how I did air quotes there? Because they are doing just that. They are selling on Amazon, right? Their product listings live, but they haven't done everything possible to be like as successful as they can possibly be, right? The word optimization or optimize is used very intentionally there. It's not how to create a product listing. It's how to create an optimal product listing, how to do everything possible, how to use every edge at your disposability. I don't know. It's too early. How to do everything possible to stand out from the crowd. Like, to me, nothing in life is worth doing if you don't have some plan to be better than the crowd, how to stand out. Amazon FBA is no exception. And Amazon FBA, you should especially have this plan because you already have to put money in to even play ball. You know, you can't, that's what FBA is. You have to send your product in first, which means you've already ordered it and paid for it and shipped it first before you even have a sale. So I'm going to give you everything I possibly can to help you make a good, like a great product listing. And it doesn't just end here. This is just the listing. There's more than that after that. So let's go ahead to module 7, how to advertise your product on Amazon. Again, everything you need to know to get your ads up, because without advertising, it's going to be really tough to gain initial sales traction unless you're in some niche that you have like no competition, which those niches, they exist. But most of you watching this video that end up joining the course, like, you're probably not going to be in a niche with no competition. You're probably going to need to advertise. By the way, don't be scared off by advertising. Everything that I teach is step-by-step linear tutorials. Hey, click here. Hey, click here. Do this. This is, I don't just say, hey, do this. I say, by the way, this is why we're doing it. So you're going to know what to do and why we're doing it that way. It's all covered, guys. So it's literally the campaign manager, which they've actually rebranded. They just, I don't know, without confusing you, like they changed how advertising works. They used to have separate advertising arms, campaign manager, AMS. They have since combined them all into AMS. It still functions the exact same though. And then I talk about campaign maintenance. So essentially like maintaining it over time. I give you additional things like how to run a lightning deal. So if you just launched a new product and maybe let's say you launched it in, by the way, if you join the course now, you can still get products live for the fourth quarter Christmas sales rush, but time is of the essence. I should have led with that actually. Like you don't want to wait much longer. It's September 12th. So you're pushing it because production runs take 30 days. It's going to take you at least probably 3 weeks minimum to select a product. And then you have to ship it to the US, which you can go by sea or you can go by air. Don't worry. I talk about all that in the course, but a lightning deal, you probably wouldn't do that with your first product, but if you have a product that you've been selling for a while and for whatever reason, maybe your sales rank isn't where you want it to be and it's ahead of the fourth quarter, well, guess what you can do? Right ahead of the fourth quarter sales spike, run a lightning deal. Then all of a sudden, like when you run lightning deals, it's heavily discounted. It gets it more exposure, it gets it more sales. Guess what? Each sale on Amazon improves the organic rank. Guess what happens after that? Your organic rank is improved. So then you're less reliant on running ads to get more sales, and you're doing it during the highest sales velocity time of year in the fourth quarter. So all of these things, it's like a puzzle, right? And I'm just helping you make sense of it. I'm helping you solve the puzzle. That's all that I do in this course. And then we go down into bonus material. And I mean, whenever I write a new lecture that's relevant, that I don't think necessarily fits into the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the need to know to launch a product, I just throw it in here. So at a high level, let's just talk about what it is. How to contact seller support, how to increase reviews with automatic emails, selling on Amazon's international markets. If you're interested in doing that, I talk about how to do Amazon's Pan-European program, which, by the way, up front, I'm just saying I don't recommend doing it because when I did it, it was not a great experience. But don't worry, I tell you how to do it, and then I share my experience with you in that lecture. How to launch a brand website. I am a web developer, so I can help you with that. I also talk about my experience doing that And actually, what I ended up doing was launching my brand website and then redirecting it to Amazon. But if you want to launch your own website, I talk about how I would go about doing that. Talk about brand registry. That is important. Brand registry is extremely important. Enhanced brand content and headline search ads, which are only able to be done if you're in brand registry. So again, all this stuff is important to know. It's all here for you. IP Accelerator program. That is the recommended approach for getting into Amazon's brand registry. Inventory management, again, that's important. If you're running out of inventory constantly, you're going to lose sales rank while you're out of stock. That's not good. It's going to help your competitors jump over you. How to file taxes for your FBA business. Get money back with reimbursement claim services. This is one of like the greatest things ever, by the way. The service that I found is actually free to use. And what they do is they take a percentage of the money they get back for you. And this is something that cannot be automated. A human has to do it. They will provide you that human for free again. And if they are successful in getting you money back that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten, they just keep like 25%, I think. So that is awesome. That's like one of the best things. And it's well worth it. I mean, they've gotten me back like over $1,000 of money I wouldn't have otherwise had. How to write a plan of action if you get in trouble, which hopefully you won't. But if you do, how to write a plan of action. It's covered there, which is like how to appeal anything to Amazon. And then buyer-seller messaging, I explain how to respond to customers, how to create templates, etc. Basically, it's all streamlined and efficiently done. And again, at the end here, I wrote an Amazon print-on-demand workshop. So essentially, how to make even more money with your Seller Central account selling what's called FBM instead of FBA products. So I give you a high-level insight into how to do that. So that is essentially what's covered. I'm like out of breath talking about all of it in my Amazon FBA course, guys. Again, I respond to everything. If you have a question, just hit reply on this email. I'd be happy to answer. I'm also on Facebook Messenger. If you join my course, I'm available. I literally am here in real time, sitting in this computer chair at this computer almost all day, every day. It's crazy, but I mean, that's just what I do. And I'm also on my phone too. Like if I'm in the gym and you shoot me a message, I'll respond. But anyways, guys, I'm invested in your success. If you would like to join, I'd love to have you. If you join within the next week before the price goes up, you're locking in the best available price. So I'd love to have you. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon on the other side.